So I'm here with Jen Pedranti.
You said it right.
Did I?
You
Good.
did. Yeah.
Welcome to Pretty Dirty.
Love it. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're able to join me.
Same.
I have so many questions.
Ooh.
I just binged the reunion of season, what is it? Season
19.
19. Okay. And you're still a newbie, right?
I'm still very new. So
Fresh.
that was just season 19 was my third year.
Oh, this was your third year.
Third. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we have a lot of like mutuals in common. Obviously, Orange County is such a small.
Right.
Have you been in Orange County for a long time?
Yes, I've been. So I wasn't born in Orange County.
Okay.
I was born in Oklahoma, and my whole family is in Oklahoma. But I would say now, at this age of my life, I've been here half my life. So 20 plus years.
Yeah, that's what I say too when I moved here. The older I get now, I'm like, well, I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere else.
Same.
So, okay, so we've got a lot of mutuals. Tamara I've known Tamara for a while. It's crazy to see the season play out the way it did, because I remember a few years ago her telling me, I'm bringing in one of my friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to go. And to see I don't want to say progression, but maybe the digression of your
what's
relation.
the opposite of progression?
Yeah, the digression of your relationship. And it's funny because I see her not as a reality TV person, right?
How do
like
you
a
see
real
her?
life person.
Okay.
I've never experienced a side of her that, and I'm guessing you probably hadn't either until you went on a show with her.
Yeah, my friendship with Tamara was very different than my working relationship with Tamara. And it feels almost like I was friends with Tamara and I worked with the rest of the women when I started. Now it feels more like I'm friends with the other women and I work with Tamara. And I don't know why Tamara and I got here. I really, truly, I'm not joking, Alex. I could sit here and try to take it back to so many things. And I don't know what it is.
I feel like, I've had relationships like that. And as we kind of were talking about before, relationships are different sometimes than they are seen on camera. Like once you film with somebody, it brings out a different side of them.
Okay, is that what it is?
I've noticed it.
Why?
I think the thing is, it's odd because Tamara, she's been doing it for so long. And I definitely think Tamara does have a big heart. I do know, and she's not made of steel or made of stone. And I know you've had a different experience with her, and I respect that entirely. I've not been in the position that you've been put in, or other, people have been put in by her. But I think she gets very triggered and she's super reactive.
She is very reactive.
Like I said, and I would say this to her face, like, you're so sweet and you're so kind and you've got such a pure heart. But when the second she gets triggered, it's like she sees red and the gloves are off, and she goes for the jugular.
You know what I'll say, Alex, is that's kind of the thing with Tamara that has been the hardest is I can get into it with the other women, but I know there's like a boundary that is never going to get crossed. And I think when gloves are off for Tamara, the boundary, she doesn't even see it.
Scary.
She just goes and there's no stopping her. She's going to say and do whatever is happening in her mind at that moment. And what I am trying to learn is it's really not me and you sitting here as women where it only affects me and you. We're opening our lives to people. We're sharing all this publicly. So the ramifications of maybe it's BS, what she's saying, maybe it's a complete lie, or maybe it's true. But once you throw those things out there, 50% of people are going to say what she says is true, and 50% of people are going to say it's a lie. And then it's hard to get past that. And I will tell you, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn that I have boundaries that are not okay for me. I have boundaries that are. I have a backbone. I need to learn to use my voice more. But I will tell you, it has been a learning curve for me. I
feel like watching you on the show, from what I've seen, like you, especially this last season, you hold yourself really, really well. Like,
I do.
It is chaotic.
It's chaotic, yeah.
When I was watching the reunion, I had like to take 4 Advil because my head was pounding and I had a migraine because it was so much screaming and yelling. And I was watching with my mom and she goes, well, that's how your show is. I'm like, it's not. Like, this is, first of all, we don't even get a reunion. So
you don't. Okay, so you don't have that.
We don't have the reunion.
Reunion's
I wish.
Intense.
But it's so much, and it's all women. Like your show. Sometimes the husbands step in, which I kind of like find ick. Also, it's like, get out of here. What are you doing?
Right.
Here?
Let the girls do their thing.
Yeah, let the girls do their thing. But then I understand husbands want to step in and protect their wives, or sometimes they're part of the storyline too.
Well, yeah, husbands get brought in.
Yeah,
and it's a fine line because it's like on one hand, the men get they get drug in our lives on these shows. And then it's like, if they stand up for themselves, poo-poo on them. And if they don't say anything, then they're weak. It's like a weird spot, but I didn't mean to
Well, and then they don't get their like confessionals either. Like you never hear the men's full version of the story. And so it's like, you can't really win. So I do see it from that point too. But I just think that you do carry yourself like you remained really calm. But then I also saw you speak your mind, stick up for yourself, where you're like, this is bullshit. And I also really like that. I like people that can go both, go both ways.
Yeah.
Like, it's not all down the line, because sometimes if you're just like zen and in it, it's boring for reality television, right? Like, of course you have, your own opinions and you want to stick up for yourself. And I think sometimes for some people, it takes a few seasons under your belt to get that.
I agree with that.
To get your footing.
You know what else has been a struggle for me? And I don't know about your show, but when the women are so opinionated and they're all very strong personalities. So when they're all chiming in, it's so hard to be like, chime in over them. I'm more of like, they're all yelling, and so I'm going to let them
but that's
do their thing.
You are the exception to the rule, because I feel like most people, all of the other women, Gina, I feel like is kind of like that too. She kind of sits back and she's not trying to talk over everybody. But for the most part, I felt like everybody was kind of, some women stick out more than others that do that. But I kept looking at you and you're just like, you're like watching the circus,
out in space.
I'm like,
is she there?
Is she okay? I'm like, are you checked out, or are you just that in your like peace bubble kind of?
No, I'm not in a peace bubble. And I actually take a lot of crap for that, like because I own the yoga studio and I do believe in, I do try to stay mindful, right? And these women, sometimes, Alex, I feel like when you are going at it and it has nothing to do with me, why in the world am I going to now interject myself and be a part of it? But I understand it's opinions and I understand it's voicing what is my thought on what is going on with Tamara and Emily or that kind of a thing. It's just me learning to insert myself when it's not about me, and they're so heated at times that I feel like,
What has it been like? Like, do you go home and decompress with your husband and you're like, oh my God, like this is what's going on? Or do you just check out after you're offset and
go back
to real
I go
life?
home and I'm like, on the way home, I'm like, Ryan.
Yeah.
And Ryan and I we talk about everything. My relationship with Ryan is we communicate about everything, and he's very involved and knows the women very well. And it's taken me 3 years to, let me ask you, I was told, come on this show, share your life, and try to make authentic friendships. And that's what I've tried to do. So I came on.
That's what they said to you?
Yeah. Come on, open your life up.
Try to have authentic relationships
try
with the women on the show?
And build real friendships. And so I come on, and my girlfriend's Tamara, and then the wheels fall off, right? And so it has taken me these 3 seasons, because I will tell you, the women that I film with are my friends, and I genuinely love them as women in my life. And so it's more authentic for me now.
You have made real friendships with these women.
And so now, Alex, when Heather and Shannon want to have a fight, I'm like, okay, you're being ridiculous, because I know my friends.
Right.
Whereas before, it was like, what are they fighting about? From how many years ago?
Right.
I wasn't a part of it. I don't know. And why am I voicing my opinion? But it feels different now, because I've built those relationships with these women. And I don't know how to, with Tamara, it's so hard because...
Do you want to have a friendship with Tamara?
We tried. We actually sat down and we were going to talk it out and have, like, what the hell is happening with us? And it went so bad. Like, it really went so bad. And so, but you know what? I saw Tamara at BravoCon and we exchanged smiles, and I love Eddie. I think he's a great man, her husband. And I never say never, right? I think
what about the gay accusations?
Oh, come on.
Like, ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I don't know Eddie at all, but that's just crazy. Crazy. And even to call that out. Right. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And why do we have to do that?
Also, if that was the case, like, why are we even talking about that? What does that have to do with anything?
Nothing. It's between them and yeah.
It's such a weird. But what I noticed this season with Gretchen coming back is that they have this they just bring out the worst in each other. It seems like it's like spiral downward, like to the abyss of like nothingness.
It is the abyss. That is well said.
Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. It's, I knew Tamara for a long time, and I didn't watch when it was Tamara and Gretchen. So, but I know Tamara says there's a lot of history there, right? Then I'm very close with Gretchen. And if you
are still
okay. Love Gretchen, love Slade.
Okay.
If you were to sit down with Gretchen today, she almost like the pain that she feels that her family has suffered with the relationship with Tamara is so deep for her. And
But is it actually deep? Like when you hear it from an out, like I understand how it can be personal to her and her own experience is her own experience. But is it, like from your perspective, is it the level of depth that she says it is? Do you think that that's valid?
mean, yeah. Whenever I sit with Gretchen and she tells me some of the, it's really big things. It's not just like, Tamara this season pulled out a photo and I'm fat.
Right.
Like, who cares? Let's have a fight about it, whatever.
Yeah.
But for Gretchen, there's like real serious things
also,
that happen.
you weren't fat in the photo.
Oh, thank you. I was a little thicker than a Snicker at the time.
You're on, like, you could be on the cover of a magazine right now. Are you kidding me? But in your swimsuit.
It's
ridiculous.
deep.
Yeah.
It is
it
deep
for her.
for them. And I was so hopeful. Gretchen is so emotional about it. And I thought, wow, this will be so therapeutic for her to come back on this show. Our show is conflict. Hold on.
There's no therapeutic element
there
of being on a
because,
reality
Alex,
show.
if you're holding years and years and years of something and the only outlet you have is giving an interview and then just ranting your side, Tamara ranting her side, it is never going to come together. And so I think the hope was these two women would be in this situation and let's get it all out. And then our goal with reunion and all of that is conflict resolution. Get it out, and can we move on?
That's true. I can see that. And that is, I feel like, why, and I don't know if you've seen the whole season of my last season of the show. Tyler came back on. He said he wasn't going to come on. And that was my take on why he wanted to. I think he wanted to clear the air with me.
Okay.
But we did it. We did have the conflict resolution. We got everything out. We aired it. We put it all out there. And so it was success. But
You still feel that way?
I think the purpose that he wanted to serve, he did on the show. I think maybe it didn't go exactly the way he wanted it to go.
Did it go how you wanted it to go?
Huh?
Did it go how you wanted it to go for you?
I could have gone either. Like, I didn't care if he came back or didn't come back. Like, I was onwards and upwards. I think that people, like the audience, are for some reason deeply connected to that journey of him and I. And so him coming back, he wanted to speak his piece. There was a lot of like elements and a lot of layers to that dynamic between the two of us. And a lot of, like you said, like tabloids or me saying stuff and him saying things and just like never. That's why I also wanted him to come on my podcast. And I was like, let's just air it all out for the audience.
Great
to
idea.
See. And he
said no?
He said yes. And then the show aired. And he texted me and he's like, changed my mind. And I was like, I knew you were going to fucking do this. I knew that the show was going to come out. You were either going to like have anxiety or get cold feet and like the audience judging you or whatever. You're embarrassed maybe by a few scenes. I don't know. And you can't.
But what a better way to sit and.
That's what I said.
Yeah, he should come
on.
like,
but I kind of respected it too because he's like, I just want to focus on my relationship. I'm like, okay, but I'm not trying to like have you on. I'm not trying to fuck you on my podcast.
Right.
I'm trying to give you the opportunity. Also, what you were trying to do by coming back season 4, we've never sat down, him and I, and had a conversation about everything on camera. Like it's edited, it's chopped up. Like that conversation that you actually saw or that you see on season 4 of him and I when he's like bawling and I'm crying and I'm completely inebriated and so is he.
It's nothing
that
like
was
that?
a 2.5 hour conversation.
Oh, sliced down to
2.5 hours. Like you know how that goes, I'm sure. But I'm like, why don't we have that conversation sober? Why don't we have that conversation where we control the elements, not production, and sit down on the podcast and just tell everybody how it really was?
Is it the new relationship? Like
I think
maybe
so.
Like
I think
an
he was just like
there, or
I think he probably was like, I just want to not talk about it anymore.
Okay.
Like we've both been trying to get away from the narrative, like it's always the Tyler and Alex thing, and we're like, oh my god, we don't want to hear it anymore. That was also my way of saying like, let's just put it to rest, and there's no more questions about it, and because we were friends, like after we filmed like our season, I was like, okay, like a new chapter, like we can get along, we can be in the same room together, it's not awkward. And so I don't know.
It wasn't awkward. It was like you just really and genuinely moved on.
It wasn't. It was a little awkward because I made the really wise decision of bringing my ex-boyfriend on my show. Also, that was fun.
Okay, yeah.
And it was awkward a little bit because Tyler was there and I had some animosity, and then my new boyfriend was there and they kind of knew each other. It was weird.
Wait, did I just see this possibly?
What?
Has this has this aired?
Which
am I
part?
thinking of you?
What?
Ryan, am I thinking, is that what I just watched?
The show?
Okay.
Yeah. What? Which part?
No, I was just thinking, it's so funny because I'm trying to piece it all together right now. Like my head gets in the reality world.
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't even know what day it is. But we did clear the air. And I thought,
you know what I have to say though, from a viewer perspective, because I'm a viewer to your show.
Yeah.
Like I would actually love to watch a sit down of you and Tyler.
Who wouldn't?
I would love that.
I know.
Like just
Tyler,
the conversation.
come on the podcast. What are you doing?
That's a great idea.
And he eloped, apparently.
Yeah.
That's also what I saw today. So
how are you doing with that?
That's not any of my business. Like I'm happy for him. I genuinely want nothing but the best for Tyler. Are there does the outside world see it as like, oh my God, he's moving so fast, and oh my God, there's alarms going off, they're engaged, now they're married? Probably, but I have no room to judge him.
Absolutely.
Because love is love. Yep. I've done crazier things than that. And I just want him to be happy, and I don't want him to repeat the same mistakes. Like all we can hope for is to grow and learn from our past.
Agree.
So I hope he does that, and I hope that she is his person. Obviously, they're married now, because I don't want her to get hurt. Do you know what I mean? I feel like, and I don't want him to get hurt either. I know he's been in therapy and stuff like that, but I just don't want to see him go through, he's been through a lot too, and I get it. And until we, can figure out our shit, we're just going to keep doing the same things.
We're programmed, right? So when things happen, you go to your programming. Yeah. It's like your natural thing to go back to.
Totally.
And so until you unwind that, it's impossible to act or do something different.
100%. And I think that I've never met her, but seeing her and what he posts, they seem like a freaking match made in heaven. Honestly, I'm I would probably have wifed her up too if I was in his position.
How many years out? How long has it been since you and Tyler?
So that's the thing. That's the thing. Okay. Now, again, I have no room to judge because my friends will tell you I don't stay. I don't want to be single. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't like being single either. But we filmed season 4. For example, the episode where we're laying it all out there in the desert and he's crying and I'm crying and all of the things where he's saying, apparently
the 2-hour conversation.
Okay. He said I'll always love you. I don't think he meant that. I think the love there is a friendship, not I'll always love you in a romantic way.
Okay.
But that was, I want to say March or April of this year.
And he's married now.
And now he's married. So I don't know.
And that's not honestly hard for you. You're not having to wrap your mind.
You really
don't.
That's not. It's not hard for me at all. At all. There's no emotion there with Tyler and I at all. For me, I want nothing but.
See,
the best.
this is why you guys need to sit down because it's you two. The perspective of you two,
I know,
would be so nice.
But the perspective of the outside world for what we are is so different than
what you are,
which I think is really hard for people to understand. Even people saying oh my God, our show just came out and now he's married. It's but we also did film that.
I know.
A while. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but it wasn't it had been a year since I'd even spoken to Tyler before we went.
But that's what's so hard. You can't fault the viewer because they're left off at a certain space and they don't understand the time between.
I do respect though. I mean, when Tyler and I were friends, I always used to tell him I wanted him to have more self-esteem and more self-confidence. Do what you're going to do, whatever makes you happy. And so I will say from a friend perspective for me with him, I'm proud of him for doing what he wanted to do. If he wanted to go and get married, fuck the audience, fuck the viewers, fuck the public. Go and get married. You know what I mean?
That's so big of you to be able to
I don't
love him, his friendship enough to encourage him.
Yes. I want him to be happy.
Exactly who he is.
Exactly. And I think that if I've seen a change, I think that I have definitely seen that with him because he's not hiding away from the public eye in that way anymore.
Yeah, the public eye can be brutal.
And judgment. Public eye is. So you're saying you walked in here, you're the one person that's still a fan. I don't see it like that.
Your mom is so amazing.
I don't. So what is it? What are the haters saying about you? First of all, people will hate on anybody. You could be feeding starving children in Africa,
and they still hate you. What is happening?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was really lucky, Alex. My first 2 seasons, people were so kind to me, really kind to me. And everybody told me they're going to love you 1 minute and the fans won't love you the next.
Yeah.
And then I got to experience it. And it's so funny. Ryan and he would be stop reading it. And it could be 10 people saying, you're so sweet. And then there's one, you know, like, and I would fixate on it. I think that our fan base really loves Katie on our cast. And
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes.
What?
So Katie was my closest friend.
No,
I'm
there's no way this is true.
This is true.
This season, people love Katie.
Yes.
Katie's the one that is lying all the time, right?
Yes, that's Katie. Katie is the one. I shouldn't say that.
How are people loving her when I feel like everything she's saying is a lie?
You know why, Alex? Because Katie is new. She is very soft on camera. She's not yelling. She's not acting inappropriate.
True.
And all the things that were happening with Katie were kind of happening off screen. So then she would come in and there would be rumblings with the other women of what was happening. Everybody would get pissed at Katie. So it would look like it was a constant attack on Katie. And that was my closest friend. I mean, truly, Alex, that was my girlfriend. And we talked every day.
You brought her into the show?
Nope. Just got, like, she came in. We just bonded.
Okay.
And it just started, things were not adding up. And then Katie and I were having some indiscrepancies. And for me, it felt like something told me, take a little breather from this. And I'm telling you, when I stepped away from my friendship with Katie, it was like you would have thought I stopped feeding children in Africa. I mean, it really gave a downturn for me, and people just love her and supported her, as everybody should be, right? But I'm telling you, it changed.
I don't think so. No. What? I mean,
I'm just saying everybody deserves love and support.
Yeah, of course.
I'm here for it. But
I'm just shocked to hear that that's still. Well, are you friends with her though? Right? Still?
No, we don't talk at all.
So you don't. So you aren't aware if maybe the audience has changed their perspective on her after this last season?
Well, you kind of go off of what you read in your own socials.
Okay.
And you know, I get a lot of people saying the one thing, I'm a disappointment. I'm a disappointment for walking away from my friendship. Here's the thing, though. I wish people would understand. I would never just walk away from a woman.
But does that get to you?
Yes.
Really?
Of course it does. I'm a human.
Yeah.
And I would never just turn my back on somebody I love. And there were a lot of conversations Katie and I had in real life that I was seriously trying to talk to my friend like, okay, then get in there and speak up for yourself or make this right. Or, okay, if you didn't do that, go tell them you didn't do that. Prove this.
I get that, though. That's happened to me. And maybe I see it with a different lens because I know reality television. So me watching your show, I see through that. And I'm like,
Can you see through which part?
I see through, I don't think you abandoned her at all. I don't think what she said about how you affected her paycheck. I don't see any of that.
Right.
I see her as possibly, I mean, there's no, I didn't know, I don't know if there's any factual evidence that like she's lying or she's stirring the pot or she's, you know, trying to get all of this information and use it against people. But I saw that, like, I did see hints of that. Like, it seemed like if everybody in the group is saying these things about somebody, it's not like they're not ganging up on her for no reason.
Right.
And I'm also probably biased because I've had people on my show that have done that, and a lot of stuff happens off camera, like you're saying. And so it's like it makes it so convoluted and so hard to get the audience to see something.
Right, because they don't know. They don't see it.
And so it
just
seems like, oh, we're mean girls or we're ganging up on you. But maybe I just see it from a biased perspective because I know how production works.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it like that. I did not see yours and Katie's relationship that way. And I also think that for her to blame you and say that someone told her in production that had your friendship just lasted longer, she would have said, that's not your responsibility.
It's not. And you know, when she said that, I was shocked at how many people like held me to that.
That is
like
insane.
I was the reason she was not receiving a paycheck. And I don't know how your show works, but we don't set ourselves up. Like we get a filming schedule. We don't set ourselves up with, I mean, yes, can I say, hey, you know what? I'd like to sit down with Alex if there's time, you know, whatever. I can ask.
Of course.
But we don't. I didn't choose to say like, oh, I'll never film with Katie. Nobody said that.
But I feel like also anybody who knows you or has seen you on the show would know that about you. Like that would know that you're not trying to be that. You see, from my perspective, you just seem like a very grounded individual, and it doesn't seem like there's like malice behind the things that you're doing.
Thank you. There is not malice.
And if
behind
she's your friend, you're saying she was a good friend of yours. She should also know your intentions and know that
that's where it gets confusing for me.
That's hurtful.
Because it's kind of like, how are we here? How are you questioning this? Yeah. She reached out after BravoCon, sent a text. She was at BravoCon.
Okay.
Yep. And she reached out after BravoCon saying, I would love to get together. And to be honest, after BravoCon, you kind of
trust her though?
Wow.
Do you want to get together with her?
Not right now.
Yeah.
Not right now. No. This is how I feel. Like you were talking about Tamara and I. Now I kind of am like, oh, okay, I see Tamara. I understand what she's capable of, what she's incapable of. So why would I put a unfair expectation on Tamara? I know what she's capable of, and I know the friendships that she holds, and I am not one of them. So that's okay for me. Katie and I, we acted or felt as if it was a very genuine friendship. I have a different expectation of Katie.
Yeah.
And so for me to sit down with Katie, I need my friend to sit down with me because I need to understand some stuff. That how did it get...
What happened after the conversation with her going up to the guy going to prison and calling the wife and all of that? Was there a conversation had?
And listen, that was the day before we film Reunion when she sits there telling me, I want to move forward. But 24 hours prior, you're with one of my real girlfriends trying to get dirt on my husband? Like, what are you doing?
But did she deny it or did she say,
she denied it? She denied it.
See, that's my problem with what I've seen from her is that if you're going to go doing something like that, just be like, yeah, I did. You know, I felt like I needed something against you. I needed to have something in my back pocket.
100%.
Just own it.
You know what?
But she denied.
Yes. If she would have said, I'm so pissed and I'm so hurt. And I thought,
human, be human about it.
I thought I could get at something and I did the wrong thing. I'd be like, there's some honesty. I can work with that. Like I can do something with that. That's real.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Onward and upward here.
Go, yes.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about your family dynamic.
Okay.
Because you have 5 kids.
I do.
Right? Not all came out of your body, correct?
So my ex-husband and I have 4 biological.
Okay.
And then we adopted our 5th.
Okay, and what's so your adopted son or daughter?
My adopted son.
How old is he?
He is 11. He's 11. The last.
He's the baby.
He's our baby. Yep.
He's your baby. Okay, so... And he lives with you full time? Okay, all your kids live with
all the kids.
How old are your kids?
Well, I shouldn't say that, all the kids. I have all the kids, but my 21-year-old's at USC.
Okay.
My 19-year-old's in the Marines. So he's at Pendleton. And then the other 3 are with me.
Wait, the one that was on the show is 19? The Marine is 19?
The Marine is 19. He literally went from high school into the Marines.
Crazy. Wow, he's so cute.
Oh, he is
so cute.
He is.
And that scene where you almost like had a heart attack after he passed out.
Yes.
My mom it's exactly how my mom would have acted. Or me. Like I can't even imagine.
And you know what's funny? Because you film. So you film with your same crews, right?
Yeah.
And when it happened, I thought like everybody would like ditch the cameras and we would all go. They're like zoomed in. I'm like, what is happening? Somebody help me.
They're cold-blooded, man. They're just trained for the one job at hand.
He's like, all like passing out. And I'm like, anyone?
Yeah.
And I'm just like this. Like literally like, it was wild.
Not okay. But so you have a beautiful family. What made you decide to adopt after already having 4 children?
I know. Well, you know what? We never ever planned on adopting. So we have our 4 kids.
Yeah.
So I have 3 boys. My daughter is my 4th biological. And it's funny. We would sit in church and they would always talk about like giving and doing more and all these things. And I couldn't at the time, my kids were little. And it's like, I can't go build a new school. I can't go.
Right.
But they always talked about bringing these kids in that were one step away from going into the foster care system. So maybe mom is an addict, maybe they're homeless. And you bring these babies in and you just love them until mom can get back on her feet. Well, Dominic, my son, was one of those kids. I had tons of kids in and out of our home. And so Dom became like a rotating kid. So I would have other foster kids, but then I would get a call, hey, Dom needs another place this weekend. And you know what, Alex? I was starting to mess up. I was like, I would pick Dom up and like be like, hold on, baby, let mama, let me tie your shoe. And I started thinking like, this isn't good. Like
Why?
Well, because they leave. They leave you.
So you thought it wasn't good for you or good for him or both?
It was
like
just
that you were getting so attached.
I knew my foster kids were my foster kids, and so I loved them that way. But why am I all of a sudden he's becoming a part of my norm? He's starting to feel like mine, and so the program had decided they weren't going to work with his bio mom anymore. Okay. She was just not making steps forward, and so they said this little guy goes to a place like Orangewood. You guys want to talk about possibly adopting? And I remember thinking like, I have 4 kids. What am I doing? And swear to God, I was on my yoga mat and I just remember laying there and I was just like, what am I going to do? And something was like, you're his mom. Like you are his mom. And truly, God's truth, in it happened. I'm his mom, like forever.
How many years ago was that?
He's 11 now. He came to us at 11 months.
No. My God.
And then we got guardianship of him when he was 2, but mom was still very much involved. And then finalized adoption at 5, and he's now almost 12.
And so how far apart is your biological youngest to him?
Everly is 15, and Dom will be 12 in February. So 3 years.
Okay. And do all your kids get along?
I mean, they're siblings.
Yeah.
You know, but yes, they do.
And is your ex-husband local?
Yeah, he's super, like 5 minutes from where the kids and I live.
And is he now kind of involved at all with the
So he's
kids?
always been involved.
Okay.
Like that was never the problem with my ex. And to this day, if you said, what happened, Alex, I would say, I don't know. I had this beautiful life. And then when, I would say beautiful life, my marriage wasn't beautiful, but I had a beautiful life. And when the divorce happened, that's when I was like, wait, we're late on this. We owe on this. What?
Right.
But I was the wife that my husband paid everything. I didn't even log into bank accounts, never had a credit card. It was like a rock bottom. I'm not joking. It was like a real rock bottom for me. And then I've just been like, okay, never again. Like Ryan and I'll sit with Ryan and I'm like, teach me this. How do I do this? He teaches me. I will never be in this position again.
Yeah.
I want to make my own money. I want to understand all my accounts, what I owe, where everything is owed. I didn't have any of that. So my husband was always involved. That's what he was always involved with the kids. And then we divorced.
And Did you file for divorce?
Yep.
So
no, he filed, but I left.
Same. Okay. So that's how my situation was too. And it's so relatable what you're talking about. And I think a lot of women go through that where they get put into a really, really, really financially difficult position after a divorce and they have no idea what's going on. None. And I do think also like husbands that are having financial difficulty tend to hide things. I don't know if it's shame or guilt or just pride. I didn't have that experience, but I did have the experience where I was super controlled by my ex-husband because all the finances came in from him. And like I had my little credit card with my little allowance. And I always used to say, and I had my beautiful house and I had a beautiful life. I always said I have such a beautiful life. Was my marriage perfect? Absolutely not. But walking away from something like that where you're like, I've got my healthy, beautiful children. I have, my home. That is one of the hardest and toughest decisions. And then adding the element of financial distress is like, it's so relatable, but like you said, a rock bottom. And then moving forward, trying to not only survive, but get into another relationship. There's so many like traumas that happen in that period of time. Like you're saying, I don't ever want to be in that situation again. Like I want to know everything. Teach me how to do it and show me. And now you're ending up probably like micromanaging everything and it's hard to depend on somebody else.
I don't like Ryan, he's so aware of my relationship and how it was with my ex-husband that he's so good about, he doesn't hold me, he lets me have my trauma about it.
Right.
And he definitely is like, here, I want to show you this. This is like, we leased a car for my son. And he's like, but I want you to understand the lease. I want you. And so we go through all the things. And he doesn't make me feel like, I can't believe you're 48 years old and I'm having to teach you like a child. It's like, look, we're here. I'm your partner, and that I appreciate because just like you said, had my ex-husband at that time, something had been going on in my mind for 2 years. What's up? I didn't know what it was.
Right.
But had he ever set me down and said, I've lost it all, or we're losing it all, or I'm behind on, I still couldn't tell you what it was. But maybe I could have said, we're a family. Let's fight through this. But I never got that. And so then when the divorce happened, it was just like unearthing things that I could not, it's like almost like I couldn't breathe. It was like the house is gone, the car is gone, where am I going? What am I doing? And the rebuild has been invaluable, but the scariest thing I have ever gone through. And that's why I tell my daughter, like these are things, like you just said, if we don't learn from it, then what are we doing? So my daughter and I have very different conversations about her future. I feel very different about where I'm at in my life, and it took me 48 years, but I'm proud of where I sit today.
So with what you have now, I mean, also relatable I've had partners that have, I mean, and I'm a single income producing household and I have been since my divorce, almost a decade. But having.
Were you in real estate when you went through your divorce?
So I was seeing the writing on the wall, and I was like, I don't want to be controlled anymore. I want to go do something for myself. Like, let me get I was 10 months pregnant when I went and took my real estate exam. My mom had to drive me because she's like, you're going to go into labor.
You like like you just knew you needed to do something.
I had
That's
like an
amazing.
awakening, and I was like, something's going on. Like but I also was like, how am I going to leave? Like, I have no money, and he's very successful now. And I was just like, I didn't want to go up against him. I knew that he would strong arm me. Like, I wasn't going to get anything out of if we got divorced. We'd only been married for 7 years. And I remember I kept asking God, I was like, just give me a sign. Give me something so that I can walk away, because my conscience and like the guilt that I know I would carry just walking away because I'm unhappy, it's so selfish because I have such a beautiful life and I get, I don't ask for anything. Like, I don't have any wants. I just wanted to be in love with my husband and we weren't in love. And, the way he treated me wasn't the way I wanted to be treated. He wanted to control me. And so actually me going out and getting my real estate license was a huge breaking point kind of for our relationship, because he was like, wait a minute, no, you can't go and like have an outside life. You can't go talk to people. You can't go make your own money. And what kind of money are you even going to make? Like, that's like so insignificant to like just be here and work for like my company, go up in the office and, do the billing for this company that I own, whatever. And I was like, but I don't want to do that. Like, I want to have something of my own. I don't want to sit around and just talk about like diapers and play dates all day long. And I wanted to set something up for myself. And the women in my family, I come from a very long lineage of very strong women, and they were all telling me, you need to, regardless if you stay married or you don't, you need to have your own nest egg. Like, you have to have your own financials.
So smart.
And he definitely didn't want that because, again, he wanted
But you can see that now.
control.
Why?
I saw it even then. But it was like, whatever. I just got used to so many things. Like, that was just my life for so long. It wasn't like the end. It wasn't horrible, right? But I just had this awakening where if I'm going to leave or if that ever comes, I want to have something. So I got my license and was busting my ass. And he was like, I don't like this. I don't like you having access. He was very jealous, very.
So you started making your own money before you.
A little bit. And it wasn't even that I started making it. I think I maybe sold one house maybe before we got divorced. I don't even know, actually. Maybe my first sale was after the divorce. But I just saw the potential. I was like, I can fucking do this. And my broker was like, you're fucking good at this. And my ex-husband was just like holding me down. Like, I don't want you to, and it got super toxic. And then a bunch of things. God gave me a sign.
What was your sign?
Big sign.
What was your sign? Do you share that? You don't have to, because I know those things.
He just had a whole life that I didn't know about. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Like, there was just a lot that I didn't know. Kind of like how you're saying you didn't know. Very different. Very, very different lane than what your experience was. But a lot came to the surface. And I was like, God, I didn't need that big of a sign.
A small sign would have worked.
A dagger through my heart.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
But I was like, I got what I needed, but it was still really hard. Like, breaking, like, no one wants to break up with their family. Right. And then it's so funny because now I'm 35 years old. And at that point, I think I was 26 when we got divorced. No fear. I was just like a little bird out of the cage, like, I'll do it. Oh, you don't want to give me any money? Fine. You don't want to give me the house? Fine. I was like, I'll just go out and make more money. Nothing. He wrote me a check. We owned a rental property, which is the house my daughter was born in. And I thought I would get half of it. Both of our names were on it. They ended up writing me a check after they sold the house, like 2.5 years later after our divorce, for $12,000.
Oh, okay.
For $12,000.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, but I always, again, like, no fear. I was like, I just want to be amicable. We're going to be together like for the rest of our lives, raising children.
The kids, yep. Are you now?
We are, but I thank myself for that.
Like, you made that happen.
Yes.
Why is it always like that?
We have
where
ovaries
is
and uterus,
he
and we're women.
Married or dating?
No. I know. At this point, I'm like, geez, like, are either of us ever going to get remarried? Like, should we just move back in together? Like, what are we doing?
Back together.
But yeah, we get along. We get along really well. And I also think the older you get and you're out dating, the more you like. People are fucked up.
I hear crazy stories.
Like, why are people so fucking crazy?
I
like
hear that.
The men get stranger, they get weirder, they get more toxic, they get just all of it. I'm like, it's terrifying. And
I always say if something happens between Ryan and I swear to you, I'm not joking. I'm like, okay, I'm going to dive into like be really like helicopter mom with all these kids. I'm going to get a bunch of cats. Yeah. And
you're done.
I'm going to go live in some house somewhere with my cats.
Right.
And where are all my kids?
Well, I also thought it was really interesting how somebody said to you, they were like, I'm concerned about how, like, I don't know what the words were, but how into, like, you and your husband are like so obsessed with each other.
Obsessed.
Which
I love it.
How can anyone think that that's a bad thing?
You know what people need to understand, and they just don't. My ex-husband and I, no joke, and I'm just going to, I'm not exaggerating. So like the holidays come around, and you know, before Thanksgiving, the lights start going up in the neighborhoods and everything. And I would sit my ex-husband down, and I would swear to you, for years, I would say, the lights are going up, you know what this means. And he'd be like, I know. And that meant like, you have to at some point go on a date with me. I just want to go on one date. And I'd always tell him, I want to hold hands. I want to go get a coffee. Yeah. And I want you to take me out on a date. And that was always around like the holidays. We'd have one date. And so I hope, sometimes I will ask Ryan, like I have to be careful. I have to be mindful of myself because Ryan gives me so much time. I've never been given that I'll take it. Right. But Ryan's like, I never knew my partner could be my best friend, my soulmate, my wife in one being.
And want to have sex all the time.
And want to
like,
just
be so attracted to each other.
Like, I'm telling you, Alex, it's a gift. I'm telling you, it is an actual gift.
How do you think that happened? How do you think that you found?
Because I think I left my marriage whenever I hate saying this because I hope you don't judge me for this, but I'm being very honest with you. I knew I was not happy, right? Yeah. But I don't know if I would have ever had the courage to walk away. I met this man, Ryan, who would talk to me and he would remember, I'm not joking, I would see him 3 days later at the gym and he'd be like, Jen, did the plumber do something at the studio? Then I started testing my ex. I'd go home and I'd be like, do you remember the plumber? Da-da-da. And my ex-husband would be like, you didn't tell me about a plumber. And I'd say, I told you about it yesterday. And I'd be like, gosh, this guy at the gym remembers me. And my own husband can't even form a thought that involves me. And I started looking forward to this person. Now, I had heard a lot of things about Ryan. You know, I'd heard all this big past he had and this playboy that he was.
Really?
So when you said awakening, he was my awakening. And I really thought he would be in my life and out of my life. Yeah. But I was awakened and I was like, I'm going to go find that.
Right.
I want that. I want to know that there's somebody out there that's my friend, that listens, that loves me. And I didn't know it would be Ryan, but the relationship I have, I can't tell you enough. Like your person is out there and don't settle because it is truly the best gift I've ever been given.
I feel like too, a lot of people, the older that they get, it's like you have to settle somewhere. Even me, I'm like, I'm going to have to lower the bar, lower the standard. Or,
no, you don't.
Because it's hard. I mean, you seem so happy and seems like you have met your match, which is amazing. And what a gift.
But can I say this to you? You don't settle, but you have to come to the realization you're what, 35, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
36 this month.
You're 35. Mm-hmm. You're not a baby. You're not my age, but you're not a baby. And you're not going to settle, Alex. You're going to understand that nobody's perfect. Right. And Ryan is flawed and I am flawed. But you know what? I will take that man's flaws.
But where do you take... This is my problem. I either pick someone and I'm like, you're so fucking flawed, but we're going to get through it. Or I pick someone who's like, you have so much value and you are close to perfect. I'm like, nope, not for me. Like,
yeah, that's
my
interesting.
brain just, and I feel like I've had a lot of therapy. And so I'm on to what I do, right? Where I avoid or I push people away or I self-sabotage. And so I know that I do these things and I try not to do them, but there's something about my brain chemistry.
Okay, but you're finding awareness.
Attracting the ones that are not, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I'm just going to tell you, it's so cliche, but when the right one comes, his wrongs will be right for you.
So you didn't take any of your triggers or your wounds or from your past relationship and bring them into your new relationship?
If I would be like, the weirdest things. I had the weirdest like sexual hangups.
Okay.
Because I what was I at the time? 43, 44. I had all these kids. I'd been with one man for 22 years. And my ex-husband.
Insecurities?
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. I brought that in.
Yeah.
I brought the, wait, you still want to be with me? Like I
Right.
kept waiting
The
for the shoe to
insecurity.
drop. I kept thinking like he's going to get sick of hanging out with me. I mean, all my stupid stuff is playing into my relationship. And he would just be like, you have to stop.
Yeah.
I'm not your ex. I'm not that relationship.
Did he know when he would say like, "Oh, did the plumber like did he know what he was doing?"
God, I don't know.
Was he like,
did
"Guess
a really
what?
good
I'm
job.
way better than your husband."
I don't.
You come over here, mama.
You know what's funny is whenever he was at the gym, there was like another young, like she was adorable, and Ryan and I would always like chit chat and all the things, and then the girls would say something like, "He's so into you," and I would say, he's so not. He's probably into that young, cute thing over there. He was like, it was like this. He did something for me that it kind of scared me because I thought, wait a minute, why, what's happening?
Why me?
What is happening? And what am I going to do with this? And why am I going home and testing my ex-husband to like put in place, like, do you know, do you not know? Why does it feel so wrong? I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but
I'm going to ask him after
but
this.
but it worked for me. But it worked.
But he was smart.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when there are cracks in the surface or the foundation of a relationship, it takes two people to fix those issues, right? In a marriage or any relationship. And when one person is like, I want to do this, I want to fix this, like, take me on the dates, like I need more from you, and they're not giving you what you need, you leave room in the relationship for outside.
I didn't even know I was doing that. Yes, for somebody to come into the crack.
Yeah.
And when my ex-husband and I would talk about like, I want more time, please, I want to go do something. I want to come home and let's make dinner together. He would do this thing where he would kind of laugh at me and he would be like, you have to stop being insecure.
Who said that?
And then my ex-husband would tell me that. And then no joke, Alex, I would lay in bed and I would think, I have got to stop being so insecure. Like it's ruining my marriage.
He got into your head.
Yeah.
And it was you.
That it was me. And all I wanted, but fast forward, my ex-husband is with a girlfriend. She was a girlfriend of mine. They've been together for years now. But the way they are together is, I'm like, wow, I was never meant for that man.
Right? That's
so
another
wild.
Crazy concept.
Yes.
Wild. Where you're like,
Wild.
who's that guy?
Who's that
but
guy?
But clearly I wasn't the woman to bring
girl.
out that guy in you.
Totally.
Which is like validating because you're like, okay, we just weren't meant to be like
100%.
together. Or maybe we were at one point and that time served its purpose and then
yes,
like the next we got to open up the next chapter.
Isn't that wild? Yes.
Did he try to like keep you? Was he like, please don't leave?
No, it was funny. It was more like he was more concerned with Ryan. It was never a fight for me. It was a fight of men.
Being with somebody else.
Yeah. It was like a fight between, he didn't want Ryan to win.
Do they get along now?
No, because Ryan sat down with my ex about 4 months ago and was just like, be honest with us. Why do you not pay? How come you're not paying? Why do you spin these stories about Jen? And my ex-husband was very honest in that conversation. For a man to sit there and just say, I have fallen on hard times, I cannot pay right now. But then the patterns just repeat. So Ryan's like, I've tried.
Lip service.
I've tried and I'm kind of over it. And Ryan's very much of the mindset like, I take care of my ex, I take care of my kids. How does a man not do that?
I see that too, and I see men all the time that have ex-wives or children, and they're just not loyal. They're just good men. They're like, well, I don't have to give my ex-wife this much money, but I do because she's, she raised our kids for this many years.
That's Ryan.
I'm like, that's not like how my ex is either. I'm just
Same.
like, men like that do exist. That are just honorable, good men.
And I thought I was married to like one of the most honorable. I thought Will was
you thought your ex-husband was.
But you know what? He's trying. He's definitely trying. But I think it's so many years. Ryan's like, okay, like moving on.
Okay, next question. What is the vaginal surgery or some surgery that you
amazing.
had? So what is this?
So
and I don't remember what you said, but something about like he can hardly get it in there
for months.
That
is no joke.
So you had the surgery after your divorce?
Yeah, I had the surgery after my divorce.
Okay.
My OB had passed, and one of my girlfriends is a OB locally. And so I'm like, I'm just going to go to her. I've known her forever, which is kind of weird to go to your girlfriend for your hoo-ha.
Oh, I think that's brilliant.
Oh, you do?
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh, here it is.
Absolutely.
Now
who would you rather go to than a girlfriend?
I don't know.
A random strange old man?
Yeah. No, I went to a woman. But So then when I go to her, you know how women, like when you're girls, you're like, you shoot each other like very straight.
Yeah.
She's like, do you want me to fix this? And I'm like, wait a minute, fix what?
Like, what needs to be fixed
What are we
down
fixing?
there?
And I said, yes, I do. So, your inner lips are not supposed to be out.
Right. Well, I mean, they're
I
not.
don't know.
I mean, I have an innie, just for the record, but I don't know if that's like a bad, like, some are just like that.
So I'm learning, because nobody talks about this.
But I don't
now
think it's like
everybody talks
supposed
to me about this.
Like, that's not a like a health concern.
No, it's not a health concern. It's an anatomical thing.
Right. It's
but
like,
it's not, now you're like, wait a minute, it could be prettier. Wait, what are you telling me?
So she just was like, do you want this to be prettier?
She said, yeah. She's like, have you ever thought about doing this? And I'm like, well, now I am. Now it's all I'm thinking about.
Right.
So she cut that. That was no big deal.
Right.
Then she says, okay, all my babies were C-sections. So she said, you know what? Under anesthesia, I'm going to check your pelvic floor. Oh my God. She cut it, tightened it, lifted it, sewed it back up.
So wait, through the vagina or through your C-section scar?
No, through the vagina. And
You were awake?
No.
Oh, you were
I was
out.
full on surgery.
Okay.
So she explains it like she makes an incision down the base of your vagina, pulls it back together, lifts it back up. And
it's a tummy tuck for your vagina.
It's a tummy tuck for your vagina.
Do you get to choose how tight you want it?
No.
She just says, I'm going to do
No,
my
and
thing.
truly, that was tough because making it aesthetically prettier was nothing.
Walk in the park.
Anybody that wants to do that, do it. It's nothing. The pelvic floor, I mean, Ryan was like, it has been 4 months. And I'm like, okay.
Like, I'm so sorry. We can do anal.
Try a straw. I don't know. It was like, it took a minute.
Great. Did she tell you that it was going to take a long time?
And I would be like, I think you sewed me up.
So it just closed up?
It just
or it hurt?
Oh, you
both.
There was no trespassing. Wow. None. And then you buy these expanders. I'm not joking. You buy these expanders and you start with like a tiny little situation and you're like, you're trying, and then you graduate. And then, and I kept telling her, I'm like, Dr. Wallace, I think you sewed it up. I think it's too tight. I don't think anything's ever going there. She kept saying, would you relax? It's fine. And it's totally fine.
Oh my God.
It's totally fine.
So she didn't warn you like, hey, it's going to be a no-go zone for 4 months.
No, she told us.
Oh, she did.
And she kind of did that thing where it's like, some people are 4 weeks. Some people are, oh, hell no.
That's crazy.
12 weeks. I was like, oh, I don't think so.
Oh my God. Okay, so what is it called? Just like floor?
What is it called? Labiaplasty.
Yeah, that.
And then I don't remember the other one.
I feel like
it's like a big name.
I feel like that's happening everywhere. I was watching the Mormon Housewives, and one of the girls did it on one of the seasons. I think Jessie did it. She's like,
I love Jessie. Do you watch that show?
She's supposed to come on the podcast, but she's saying that their reunion comes out tonight too. I think, or maybe
you've got to
tomorrow.
have her on.
I love her.
Oh,
I love her. I love her because she's just so open with like
very
everything.
open.
Like that's how I love people like that. That's the way I am, and she's just like, I don't give a shit.
Those girls are crushing.
Literally everything they touch turns to
gold.
Like,
can I go to Mom Talk? I'll be like their
Can I move to Utah and just be
I'll be
Mom
like the
Talk
Madam Mom or something.
Literally, I just want to drink swig sodas all day and
go hang out with those girls.
Literally just gossip and stay in sweats all day. I'm like, why can't our show be like that? I want to show up in sweat. I feel like yours did a little bit more.
We are way more.
I want to be like that.
You guys are like stunning and dressed at all times.
It's too much. And then what happens is I film and I'm dressed like that for 3 months, 4 months. And then after that, I'm like, I'm literally going to be in a hoodie for the rest of the year. Unless I have to be at an appointment or a meeting. No way. I want to be in my... And it's also like, I feel like sweats are kind of trending right now also.
Thank God.
Okay, so vagina works.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Vagina works.
What about this dick pic? I was watching BravoCon and Andy Cohen said everyone's going to get a dick pic from Ryan.
He said that?
Yes. And I didn't know what he was referring to.
Because, oh my God, you don't know this story?
No.
Oh, it's so bad.
I Googled it and it said something about a mistake and maybe on Snapchat and it went to everybody, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, that's exactly what happened.
That's what happened. Who also...
Wait,
he has Snapchat?
Well, okay, but you're going back to my first season.
Oh, okay.
This was first season.
Oh, okay.
So, dick pic happened when Ryan and I started talking. We had a mutual friend who said, you guys should go on Snapchat. We were like, well, neither of us had it. So we were like, okay, why do you go on Snapchat?
Yeah.
Because nothing's saved. You guys are you're with it. So it's like this like very dark.
Well, I feel like kids have, like my teenager has Snapchat, but I guess other different people use it for different things.
I did too for a hot second.
Okay.
So then you get on Snapchat so I can text Ryan, Ryan can text me, and then poof, it's gone. Right? And so Ryan has new Snapchat and he has his son, his daughter, Me?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And, I don't know about you. Ryan every once in a while sends, actually, it was terrible. I'm so sorry, Ryan. It was actually a limp dick.
Why would he send a limp dick pic?
Okay. Well, I told you when I first came into the relationship, and he would be like, if I was naked, he would look at me, and it was so uncomfortable. And I would always be like, turn the light off.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, you are so perfect. You're so beautiful. Why are you like that? And so we had a date night planned, and he was getting in the shower, and it's this limp D picture, and he's like, me and
is
my
it
limp.
on the internet? I'm not going to look. It's not floating around the internet,
I don't think it's on the internet.
Okay, thank God.
He's like, me and my limp D miss you and can't wait for date night. Snaps it
I'm gonna die.
to all of us.
No, every single person in his Snapchat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His children.
Oh, everybody.
Did the kids laugh or were they traumatized?
I think he got a call from his son first, like, Dad. Oh. Yeah, his son is 22 now, but so 3 years ago, and his son's like, Dad, really? And we were like, because we're these idiots that are on Snapchat that have no business. We're like, take him, like,
right.
What are we even doing?
I'm dead.
But that's dick pic.
I'm dead. Okay, well, get off Snapchat.
Yeah,
it's
we clearly need to either figure it out or stop sending nudies.
So
to each
there's
other.
a button that says send to all.
Yeah.
Also, why does that even exist? That's like setting somebody up for failure.
Well, it did.
Not especially if it's an app that's meant to be like deleted or like the messages are supposed to be deleted.
Sent to all.
Unbelievable. Oh God, that gives me I'm starting to sweat. That gives me so much anxiety. I thought about that before I went on my show years ago when they were interviewing me, and I was like, oh my God.
What's out there?
What's out there?
What
if
there?
People come resurrect from the dead?
Very possible.
Exes, and they're like, by the way, I've got a nudie of Alex Hall, and I'm like, but then again, if I'm sending a nude picture, they look freaking.
It's probably a good
bomb.
one.
I'm
yes.
like,
you don't send them like Ryan does. Yeah, you make sure they're good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking, I'm trying to recall, and they haven't sent that many, but I'm like, if I was going to send a photo, I would have made sure it was a really good photo. So then I'm like, I don't care if that's on the internet, to be honest with you. My kids might care, but
you're good with it.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm so good with it. Okay, I think the last thing I kind of wanted to talk to you about or ask you about is just, you mentioned you're from Oklahoma, but you've lived here for the majority of your life at this point. Do you think that, do you think you would go back for another season on the show? And second part of the question is, do you think, you mentioned your divorce being the lowest point of your life. Is that still true to, you still feel that that's the lowest point of your life? Nothing before that, like childhood or?
No, I was raised in, my whole family's in Oklahoma. I was raised in a really small town. Everybody I went to elementary to college is still there. So when I go home, it's amazing. I had a great life growing up. I have an amazing family. So no, nothing there. And yes, it's funny, Gina, who I filmed with the other day, was talking, and she said, I read something that said your worst day and your worst day can also be the best day of your life. And yes, was my marriage and ending and all of that the worst thing that I have ever gone through? Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's also been one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And would I go back? I hope I go back. I want to go back for another season. It has taken me a minute to. I don't naturally. I'm not a natural chess piece mover. Right. I'm not a calculated person by nature. But it took me these 3 years to be like, ooh, I know you, and I know what gets you, and I know why you're upset right now. Now you and I can have real dialogue about things. So I feel so good with my friendships with the women that, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Do you think that the friendships, I mean, from your experience being on the show and how much has changed with your friendships, clearly you said Katie was a friend, Tamara was a friend. Do you think that there are stronger friendships now that probably can't be but budged with another season, or do you think that there's a possibility of different alliances?
The only two for me are right now that I sit in that space with are truly Katie and Tamara. And look, I've known Tamara so many years, and she has talked so openly about her therapy and making all these changes in her life. Girl, show me. I'm here for it. You want to make these changes in your life. You want to do it different. I'm
Don't
here
you
for
think
that
that's
all day
odd
long.
that somebody, if somebody really wanted to have a relationship with you, wouldn't they try to do it off camera? Why would somebody wait for another season to call you or try to
we don't.
mend things?
We don't, but I don't either. You know what? Maybe she would sit there and say, Jen doesn't call me either, and I don't. I don't feel like it's in my court anymore. I think I chased that friendship for so long that I'm settled with maybe she's not a woman that will ever be in my life, and if things turned around, that would be great, but I have other friendships that feel more real for me within that friend group.
So who are your closest friends besides, I know you said Gretchen, but are you actually close with the rest of the cast as well?
Yep.
You guys spend time together, hang out?
I don't know about your cast. Like, it's funny, outside of filming, we all communicate, right? We all communicate, we all check in. I know what's going on with everybody, and there's an occasional get together. But when filming really does end, I have 5 kids and Ryan, and there's not a lot of time, and you spend so much time with these women. So yeah, do I get together with them at events, and I truly love it.
Yeah.
But I can't say yes, I'm 3 times a week hanging out with
you
with
guys
the girls.
all have your own lives, and things are just crazy and busy. Trust me, nobody gets that better than I do.
You get it.
Raising 2 kids, and I'm like, the show is the show, and I've got my good friends, but I'm like, we're not getting together every week at all.
And we do sometimes, and when we do, it's nice. And then I don't know about your show, but when we do, then we talk. We're like, you're in a sorority now,
right?
You are now in this club, and so when the club gets together, you talk about the club. So it's almost like I have this life now. It's like, here's my life before, and here's my life within it. And when I'm in it, I'm in it, and when I'm outside of it, I love that my girlfriends are like, we don't even care. You don't even have to tell us anything.
Do you think that, so Vicki's coming back for next season?
Yep.
Which I, for one, I'm not in your position, but I am excited to see
I'm
this.
excited.
What do you think is the strategic move behind them bringing Vicki back?
I don't know the strategic move. Vicki, Shannon, and Tamara used to be the Tres Amigas. Do you know that?
Yes.
They were very, like, the 3 of them.
They're so fucking funny.
Hilarious. So there's a little nostalgia, I feel, with 20 years of the Real Housewives of Orange County. I mean, that's amazing. So I think our viewers are so excited about Vicki. And you know what? I'm excited. I've never filmed with Vicki, so I don't work Vicki. I have girlfriend Vicki. And when I talk to Vicki, my friend, she's a girl's girl, Alex. She's like, we should not be tearing each other down. Now, she gets heated and she gets frustrated. But I'm kind of like, I am seated for Vicki.
So you have a friendship with her outside of always. Okay, so you know her.
I know her.
So it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, who is this woman coming in?
No,
like, I just have to get to know her now. Do you think that? What do you foresee happening with the news, like her coming out? Do you think it's going to be the 3 amigos again?
You know what I see happening? I see us having a little more fun. Because Shannon and Vicki are hilarious.
Whoop it up?
You whoop it up.
Whoop
Like,
it
whoop
up.
it up or whatever she does. I see that happening.
Okay.
And we need that.
Okay.
We need that.
Let's manifest that.
I am.
Spit in your voodoo doll later.
My voodoo doll. I still have
Make her
her.
work.
She
Make that
works
bitch
for me.
work.
She does. Yep.
Do you still have that?
I have her. Yep. Her name is Jennifer, by the way.
Dead. That shit creeps me out. I'm so terrified.
But you know, that's why I can't. Heather, who she made a voodoo doll, Heather Dubrow. And the lady told us, like, if you don't want to serve your doll anymore, like you got to like
dismantle
it. Heather's like, I took an arm and put it in the outside. I did this.
Yes.
So when I go to Jennifer and I'm like, I don't want to like give you coffee in the mornings anymore. I'm like, which part do I start with? And I'm like, okay, fine, you can stay.
Like, I'll just give you a little coffee.
Because it messes with me.
Today is not the day.
Because I'm like, what? I don't want to put anything out there.
Have you seen, like, is there any significant, like, what do you think about Jennifer? Has she
She's there.
brought things to your,
No,
you're
I
like,
think
you're going to do your job and bring us financial abundance.
I tell her that. And I've had some good like collabs. But I think it's not Jen. It's what you put out into to me. It's like putting it out there. But I still can't dismember her.
You just can't do it.
I just can't do it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to do that either. I'd be like 90 years old on my deathbed spitting freaking
I'm going to have to do that. And it's
head.
funny, Heather says, I have laid in bed and thought like the arm creeps out of this one and the body comes back together. So I'm like, oh yeah, Jennifer stays.
I've seen too many scary movies. Speaking of financial abundance, you do some social media stuff, right? Or where does it's so crazy once you get into the limelight, like how your financial, like where your money comes from just changes so much, right?
Yes, and being on the show, it's hard because really they say like when our viewers don't view us being on the show as a job. And so I am telling you, I'm so grateful for the job because I own the studio. Right. But the studio's out in RSM.
What's your main source of income?
Right. Oh, now it's collabs and the show.
Social media.
Social media
and TV.
And TV.
Crazy.
And that's why I get it. Like you, or Gina, she's got the show, she's got the platform, but she has started this whole real estate thing. Now I'm like, okay, this could be very short-lived. So what is the opportunities within the platform to grow into something else?
Right.
3 years in, wheels are turning, but it's.
But you have your studio.
I have the studio, but I'm learning that, I only have a 25-mile radius, but an online platform reaches so many more people, right? So
Like what's the thing on the bike that people do, you mean?
Yeah, like the Peloton.
Yeah, like
app.
that kind of thing?
Yes.
Where people zoom it, like
Yes.
they Skype in or Zoom in and you do live stuff?
And you do live or you stream classes or you stream like yoga technique. You stream,
Right.
because so many people are like, oh, I wish I was there. I wish I could take a class from you. But they are not 25 miles within Rancho Santa Margarita.
Right. Or an app. Like you could do
an app. Yep.
Because obviously like you know what you're freaking doing.
Well, thank you.
And so you can just put all your workouts on
Right,
there and
exactly.
people subscribe or pay or whatever. That would be amazing. Yeah, I think that people don't realize that you're doing a job, you're getting paid. And not everybody on your show clearly gets paid the same, right? Like
No,
my
we
show,
don't get
not
paid the same.
Okay.
No.
So there's like a hierarchy
Yes.
kind of situation. And then the more seasons you're on, you get more, or the more you're shown?
I think it's more, and I don't ask the other girls. I think you get more the more years you are on. I think that's how it goes. I don't know how it goes for you guys.
Our Netflix is so different.
Oh, it is?
So bad.
Really?
The pay is so ridiculous. Yeah. It's so bad. Well, they start you at a certain amount and then they're like, oh, if it's after 3 seasons, you can renegotiate. So like seasons 1 through 3, all of us like OGs, we were like, just hang in there.
So 1 through
more
3,
season.
you're the same.
With our same salary for all of us across the board.
Okay.
And then, well, no, they did tier it from like, there's 2 tiers. There's like A and B. So like the main cast gets 1 and we all get the same. And then the B team gets all the same. Like there's no in between. There's no.
Ooh, so does that create like a thing of like,
I don't
I'm
know
the
if
A, you're
everybody
the
knows
B?
who, like, I feel like the A team kind of knows we're the A team. And then the B team, we're just like, I don't know if they know that they're the B team because we don't really
Interesting.
talk, like,
Interesting.
But also then anyone who comes in new, they start from the very bottom of the totem pole. Like they start where we started. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are doing this for that much? Like that's crazy. And they're having to stick through it. Like it's hell. And it's like filming is so insane and chaotic. And for me, I feel like, not to single myself out, but my life is so different than so many other people's lives that I film with. Like I'm raising 2 children, as a single mom. And
Do they see their dad?
yeah.
Okay.
He lives close by, but I mean, my daughter's 16. She wants to be with me
Of
like
course,
all
I get
the
that.
time. Even my son, and he works like full time, but he's got an office job. So it's way different. Like he's got to be in there. I'm more flexible. And
Yes.
I'm like, okay, mommy will pick you up. Okay, mommy will bring you your swimsuit to paddleboard. Okay, mommy will take you to your, your friend's house. So it's mom just, I feel like most of the time just it's more
So
on
you're
our
doing
plates.
real estate, a podcast,
Yeah.
full-time mom, and the show,
And the show, and I do
and all your socials.
my social media collabs. Yeah. Yeah.
That's inspiring, girl.
Yeah.
Good for
Well,
you.
the mental breakdown is just right around the corner.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
The burnout is very
if you need
close.
to get on a yoga mat, will
The
you please call me?
burnout
I
is-
will.
need
I will
to.
walk you through that.
No, I really need to. My trainer, bless her, she's Paulina.
Oh, I love Paulina.
Oh, did she train you?
No, but I love
One of my
Paulina.
favorite
She's like the
people
best.
ever.
Yeah.
And she's like,
She's a
we're
good
doing
person.
it. And I'm like, I've fallen off the wagon. I can't. She lives right down the street from me. And she's like, she used to come to my house during filming. And because I would like, if I needed to work out, like to get the, and she would hold me so accountable. I would leave my door unlocked at night so she would be able to come into my house. She would wake me up
To get you up
because
to
I
go
was like,
work out.
she's like, you're not going to listen to your alarm. You're not
gonna
going
snooze.
to answer my calls. She's like, at this point, just take the key to my house because she would literally get my ass out of
bed and go work out. That's pretty cool.
When she works out with me at the house, and she does a few other like local girlies, and sometimes we'll get together and do it. But I'm like, I have fallen. I don't know what happened to my ass. It's just flat as a pancake. Somebody could talk about comments. Sometimes I'll go into the comments on social media. Someone said some fucking shit. None of it bothers me. Literally,
it doesn't?
None of it. But this one fucking comment
about your ass.
This guy said, or maybe a girl. I don't know. Is it just me or does her ass look different this season? Does it look flatter? I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm like, Paulina,
glutes,
we have a
stacked.
problem.
Yes.
And I'm like, am I just sitting on my ass too much? I don't think that's the case, but I haven't worked out. It's been so long. And a yoga mat is so much different than like
It is.
what I do with her. And I know you talked about like lifting weights and she's really big into that too, especially after a certain age, how important that is.
So important.
And I really have no excuse. Like
You do. You have about 5 million excuses.
well, yeah, but I really
do.
Here's the thing too, though. You're only like I'm only this age once, and I want to feel like I want to feel good about myself, which I normally have. I'm very blessed. I have very good genetics, but now I'm like I'm not 70 years old. I'm not 80 years old. Like I want to keep my body healthy. I want to be strong. Like there's no I could wake up earlier and work out. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm not a wake up early
I'm
kind
not
of girl.
either. But give your key to Paulina.
I'll give my key to Paulina. Paulina, you're getting a key.
She'll wake your ass up, and she's so good. And she's just like, I'm like, all I want is an ass like yours. Just give me your ass. That's
we
all
were
I want.
walking in right here today, and Ryan he's grabs my ass, and he's like, "Your ass is getting small." I'm like, "What?" Now I'm thinking about tomorrow's workout.
What is it with the ass?
I don't know.
Well, the ass didn't even used to be a thing. I felt.
I know. I'd been fine a few years ago. Now I'm supposed to have this
the ass
great ass.
But me too. And honestly, here's the truth. I admire women's bodies way more than I admire men's bodies. I never look at guys.
Actually, I think we all do.
Oh my God, look at her little ass and her waist and her perfect,
Yes.
the toned shoulders.
Yes,
I was literally noticing your arms when you were in the reunion and you were talking to whoever was telling you somebody came.
Good arm shot.
And I was like, look at her arms.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
You
I
do
appreciate
great.
that.
You do great. Let's see the workout routine.
Okay.
Post
well,
it.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
It was so nice having you on.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you so much for coming out. I definitely foresee and would love to have drinks with you at some point.
You say when?
Yeah, well, after my workout with Paulina.
Tell Paulina we'll work out, but then we get drinks
after.
after.
Workout, yeah, I would love to see you again. And
Same.
I appreciate you coming in so much. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for
so
having
nice
me.
Chatting
Fun.
with you. Yeah.